Christian Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Passing the Torch, an apology for classical Christian education, by Louis Markos, narrated by Tait. Preface. Few Americans today will dispute that our system of education is broken, ineffective, and in crisis. Students progress from grade level to grade level and then graduate high school with little knowledge, fewer skills, and even fewer virtues. They are as unprepared for the academic rigors of college as they are for the practical demands of the workforce, or the physical and emotional sacrifices necessary for marriage and the raising of children. Remedies for this crisis tend to come in one of two forms. Either utilitarian methods of pedagogy and classroom management are instituted that promise to order and regiment schools as if they were factories, or socio-political agendas are imposed that promise to unite students under a common progressive cause. Unfortunately, most of those conservative marketplace methods and liberal ideological agendas are cut off from the wise and stable traditions of the past, unmoored from the very things that have made and will continue to make us human. While the methods more often than not prevent real engagement with goodness, truth, and beauty, the agendas have the effect, whether intended or not, of setting students in opposition to the tradition, rather than encouraging them to preserve that which is good, true, and beautiful in the legacy passed down to them by their forefathers. What is needed is not more methods and agendas, but a refocusing on what education is and what it should do. I could be, technically speaking, the finest surgeon in the world, but if I do not know the proper function of the heart, or the brain, or the lungs, my attempts at operating on those organs will likely result in great harm to my patient. All things, Aristotle argued, have a telos, a purposeful end, which defines their essence and guides their growth. Both education itself and the children who are educated possess a telos that must be understood and heeded if one generation is to properly pass down its knowledge and its culture to the next. In Chapter 1 of The Abolition of Man, C.S. Lewis, writing during World War II, sums up succinctly the difference between an educational system that knows the proper telos of education and one that does not. Where the old traditional form of education initiated, the new merely conditions. The old dealt with its pupils as grown birds deal with young birds when they teach them to fly. The new deals with them more as the poultry keeper deals with young birds, making them thus or thus, for purposes of which the birds know nothing. In a word, the old was a kind of propagation, men transmitting manhood to men. The new is merely propaganda. All the methods and agendas in the world will not restore education to its proper function until we are willing to ask again what that function is. But we will not be able to determine what that function is until we reclaim a proper understanding of whom that education is for. If we begin from a purely Darwinian view of man as a product of undirected time and chance, with no essential nature or transcendent purpose, then we will treat the children in our schools as animals on a farm, or cogs in a machine, to be herded, manipulated, and re-engineered. If we begin from a purely Rousseauian view of man as innately good but corrupted by society, then we will do all we can to protect students from feeling shame, while removing them from all moral and instructional accountability, and inflating their self-esteem in an individually and societally destructive manner. The situation is a grave one, and I propose to address it in a three-step fashion. In my introduction, I will define and celebrate man as a human person, endowed with innate dignity and worth, but fallen and in need of limits, rules, and discipline.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?